Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Chemically Bonded Part 9. Walking into the labs yet again, a wave of content washes over me as I reminisce about the events of yesterday. The events of yesterday. In this very room my entire school life had seemingly changed, yet it really doesn't feel all that different. Again, here with Kiyoko, all of this feels natural. The highlight of my day as I get to relish in the time spent with the girl beside me. She is still cute though.
I won't be making it to club today. There's a big race I have to train for.
Okie pokie. Thanks for letting me know.
What? No. I'll miss you, Naomi.
Nah, nothing like that. Alone, that is. As bad as it is to say, it's better when she's not here. This way we can be a little more free to express our feelings, yes.
I don't think we'll be able to do much today.
How comes? Why's that?
Well, I need to study in the next few weeks. A lot. I'd like to use club time to do that. If that's okay with you.
Yep, we can do that. Seeing that I'm hardly the most engaged member of the club, it really doesn't make any difference. I'd still be spending time with her, whether she's playing with beakers or playing with books. My role here hasn't changed. Of course it's okay. I'm here to cheer you on, right?
I appreciate it.
Aww.
I actually need you to be pretty quiet whilst I study, but having you be here is more than I can ask for.
Aww. Smiling gently, Kiyoko grabs her blazer from a nearby chair, before putting on her lab coat in her usual fashion. You don't really need to wear that today, do you?
It's still nice to wear. It looks good, right?
It looks pretty acceptable to say the least. It sure does. Having given her a nod, Kiyoko seems pleased by my answer and heads to a nearby desk. For once, barren space in front of her quickly filled by books, paper and all sorts of utensils pulled from her bag. She's really taken this seriously. As smart as she seems, I guess she really does need to study after all. Everyone needs to study, no matter how much IQ you have. Time moves forward as the seconds count away. The atmosphere in the room is still unchanged since we arrived. Kiyoko is sitting in the same spot as she started, still intently going over a strong pile of notes as she jolts away with her pen. It's a wonder to see, but knowing that the next few weeks would be like this, I can't help but feel a little sad. The joyous energy that the club once had now captured by a silent, static aura as the two of us mind our own business. That's not to say I haven't caught her peering in my direction each and every time with her same cute smile. For that, I guess it's worth it. I want to be here for her. Looking around the room, the same sights remain just as they were the first week I walked in here. Sunlight seeping through the windows, adding a flare to the stray bits of dust floating around the room. The old equipment neatly stacked towards the back, each one of them I'm sure having ran into Kiyoko at some point. It's almost nostalgic.
Do you like it here?
Taking a break from her studies, Kiyoko looks towards me with a warm smile as she twirls a pen in her hand, seemingly giving off one of the most sophisticated looks she's had to date. It's a nice sight. What do you mean? Spending time with you is always fun.
I mean here. The lab. Do you like it?
It's got a certain charm to it, sure. Being the place we most certainly help, or met most certainly helps. Despite having been in the same class for a while, having survived a shuffle-up of second year, it was the first time I'd ever spoken to her properly. Of course, as classmates, it's not like we'd never exchanged any words at all. I'm sure I said good morning to her once.
But there's that. This place. It helps me relax. Not just because I'm a scientist.
A scientist in training?
Well, I'd say I'm pretty qualified.
Yeah, to you that is. What about the officials?
Regardless, it is really nice. I'm glad you like it too.
Heading back to her notes with nothing more than a few hums, I look over her character once again, taking in what truly is a wonderful sight. Okay, we're switching from brown to brunette to chocolate back to brown. Her beautiful brown hair floating nearly in a ponytail. The lab coat abate unnecessary caress. Okay, as she adjusts herself onto her chair. Even though we're together, it still feels pretty crappy eyeing her up like this. I should get back to doing, well, not all that much. Shouldn't you be studying as well? It would make it more productive your time rather than just sitting there looking like a statue. Leaning back in her chair, Kiyoko turns her head towards me, giving yet another smile.
I think I'm finished. For now, anyway.
Mm-hmm. You mean you're going to do more?
Of course, but we can't stay here all night. I need dinner too, you know?
Mm-hmm. She can't stay here forever either. Gathering up her things, Kiyoko puts them all away nicely into her bag as always. Club having finished despite not really happening in the first place. Well, I'm glad you're doing your best.
It's really okay. Having you here means a lot.
But?
There's something I need to tell you.
And what would that be? Now struck by a wave of nervousness, Kiyoko taps her small feet against the floor as her shoes ring out a sequence of taps against the hard tiles.
I think it's best if I cancel the club for a while.
Distractions from studying?
I just don't want things to get boring for you. I'll be studying a lot in the next few weeks.
Really? Peering away with a flushed face, Kiyoko takes a few breaths as she stands still on the spot.
I just don't want to bother you.
You're not bothering us at all. You're not a bother, Kiyoko, but if that's how you feel, then I want you to do your best.
I won't be able to see you much outside of class.
Thinking about it like that, it really is pretty heavy. Having just started our relationship to be held back from seeing one another more so than usual. I don't know what to feel. The best thing I can do is support you, right? I want the best for you.
It means a lot. I'm going to smash that test just for you.
More importantly for yourself, Kiyoko. Having her energetic voice yet again, it adds some warmth to my heart. I really do love her.
I really like you.
You confessed yesterday, remember? But I don't care.
Of course I do. I would never forget that.
You would never forget the first time you confessed to your loved one.
I just like saying it.
Yeah. I really, really like you too, Kiyoko.
You added an extra really.
Yeah. That's because I mean it. More hugs. Or is it school time again? Looking back on those days, it really was a world away. Kiyoko and I enjoying time together in the club as usual, even if we really didn't do all that much. Thinking about it, it was that day I started having these feelings. A few weeks have passed since that day, as far as I'm aware. Her test is pretty soon, and I'm happy that she's still trying hard. But something is missing. Whether it's the thing of being together, spending time with her and having fun as always, or something else entirely, I really don't know. I expected the relationship to be a little different, but so far nothing's really changed besides the amount of time we spend together. It's gotten worse. Still seeing her from day to day in class. It doesn't feel like what we told one another has ever happened. I still love her, but if I don't know what love really means... Walking up the usual road towards school, things are noticeably warmer as summer quickly approaches, yet tell me about it. Students like me heading towards another day's worth of education. That's what normal is, right? That's what I was looking for, right? A normal life, a normal relationship, something that wouldn't stand out from the crowd, allowing me to be myself and ride through life just like anybody else. Is what I found really that normal? Kiyoko Ishikawa, a girl living life in her own world as our own passes by without a hitch. A girl seemingly given the gift of athleticism, brains and beauty. Perfection at its finest! Am I really good enough for her? It's all down to the heart, regardless of what you look like on the outside. It's always about what you are on the inside. With the questions floating around in my head, the time we spend apart continues to grow, ticking away softly as our hearts continue in rhythm. Joining the crowd of students heading through the gates, I make my way to school. I sense a heartbreak at some point. Things feel different as I make my way into class. The previous aura of activity now replaced with a solemn air of serenity as summer break quickly approaches. The sight of people wafting themselves with cool air or chugging down bottles of water not being uncommon. Despite any distinct uniform policy, as these months approach, it's clear almost everyone has opted to stick with a single white shirt, including her. Hey Kiyoko! Small exchanges like these are now commonplace between us, our only form of communication as her tests quickly approach. Hey Kiyoko! With that test getting closer, with that day getting closer, she's really worked her hardest to revise as much as she can, isolating herself from the world as she delves further into her own. Just like the day I found her. Kiyoko?
Can't you see I'm studying? Didn't realize it was you.
I'm sorry for bothering you. Seeing this happened, it hurts. I head back to my desk with those words still in my mind. Kiyoko looking on without sparing any more words, before quickly turning back to her desk. Do you not recognize my voice? Hey, Naomi. Obviously, we're having lunch right now. How about trying again when your mouth isn't full?
What's wrong?
Sitting across the table from me, Naomi scoffs down the remains of her sandwich as we sit at the side of a canteen. A pair. I decided to leave class pretty late, being one of the last to leave. It was all I could do to stop something like that happening again.
I'm going to the lab. I'm sorry about...
It's okay. Please do your best. Despite that, she still waited for me. Why do you think there's something wrong?
You're just making a weird face.
Yeah.
Though I guess it's not uncommon for you.
Thanks. Thanks for the encouragement.
What? If something is wrong, why don't you just tell me?
Yeah, that's what
I'm
friends do.
Your friend, after all.
Yeah, it's just pretty funny seeing you eat so much. Having just finished a sandwich, several other wrappers remain strewn across the table as onlookers gawk at their idol's feast. The track captain going at it like it was some sort of buffet.
I have a big race soon. I told you that, didn't I?
You need to eat a lot to be able to exercise a lot and train a lot.
The extra calories help.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works.
If you really get off watching girls eat, go take Kiyoko out for a meal.
Wow, that's the problem. Having caught on to my solemn mood, Naomi responds aptly with a pensive guise of her own. A look of thought directed towards me as she licks the tips of her fingers clean.
So there is something wrong.
Yep, it's just me and Kiyoko. We haven't been spending as much time together as I'd like. Every time I question it, it feels as if something is wrong. The feelings I have for her, I can't understand them anymore. We'd only just become friends, yet be in a relationship. Is that right?
Ah, right. She had that test, didn't she?
You forgot?
Of course I didn't forget. I'd like to spend more time with her too, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think your case is a little different, or vice versa ours.
Sorry I'm not head over heels for you like her. Just what is your problem anyway?
What do you mean?
Why do you feel so bad?
Yeah, thinking about it like that, it's hard to come up with an answer. I want to spend time with her. I want to see her. I want to have fun again. To me, it feels like that emotional connection is missing, the bond that brought us together. Don't you think it's hard to have a relationship when we hardly see one another? Kiyoko and I, are we really right for one another? I feel like we rushed into things. Is that really how I feel? Right now, it's hard to understand.
What's your idea of a perfect relationship? As long as there's feelings, that's what really matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you just need to think about what you really want.
Yeah. I want best for Kiyoko. She told me she liked me. Love, like, is there a difference?
love is a science too. But this was my first experiment. I'm happy it was with you.
Aw. Love.
Are you okay? You're looking a little weird.
Again, did you just say that wasn't uncommon for me?
No, I mean...
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, if you love Kiyoko, that's what matters.
Your two expressions don't match. If I love Kiyoko... Speaking of perfect relationships, what's your idea of one? Surely you've thought about that kind of stuff.
Me?
Yeah. No, I was asking your sandwich wrap.
I guess
She pauses.
I'd want to be with someone who's always been there for me. Just to make me feel safe. And loved.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants, right?
Trusted as well. In the end, I agree. To that extent, I don't know what I've done for Kiyoko.
Sometimes we have to adjust our personalities to appeal to those we want to be liked by. But with you, I haven't had to do that.
You adjust yourself.
Thinking about you, being with you, makes my heart race. Science can't explain that.
I think science can in a
If you're
way.
not happy, you should do what your heart really wants.
My heart. But that's the thing. There's a bit of a conflict, don't you think? But I know what my feelings are. I know what my feelings are.
If that's how you feel.
As the lunch bell rings in the distance, Naomi begins scooping up all her trash into a small bag, presuming to toss it into a bin.
Here you go.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, I listen to your problems. The least you could do is do me a favor.
Alright. Wait, how do you even know me and Kiyoko were going out?
Going out.
You know what I meant.
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, because of the secret spilled in the last episode. Like, you told Naomi that you're not going to say something because it was a secret between the MC and Kiyoko herself. It was pretty obvious.
You might not know it, but she's been pretty happy. See ya.
Heading off abruptly, I idle around my table with a bag of Naomi's trash in my hand. I could probably sell this, yet tossing it into a nearby trash can closes the doors. I walk out the canteen with a new agenda. I need to tell Kiyoko how I feel, even if I don't know what that is. Even if you don't know what your heart tells you. Tossing my back onto my bed, the sunlight through the window gives off a tranquil aura as not so tranquil thoughts remain stuck in my head. I know I have to tell her, but is it as easy as that? After coming all this way, at the end of the day it's all my fault. I want her to be happy. Can I really do that for her if I'm not? With all these questions, I take a sip from a bottle of water at the side of my desk. It doesn't taste too great. Nothing is going to change unless I do it. Pulling out my phone, all of the old conversations pop up on the screen as shared digital history. It's almost nostalgic. I'd first joined the club as a nobody. I had no real direction, 3 years without once experiencing the stereotypical school life I'd expected. And then I found her. Giving that up just because of a few weeks. I can't do that, can I? Shaking my head in an attempt to thwart my thoughts, I begin to type my message. Meet me in the city at 6. It's important. A date. We haven't been on many. Certainly not in the last few weeks. But it's a date. What with her studies, it's surprising to see a response so quickly. Okay. It's not much. I don't want things to go on like this. I love her. But you need to put your feelings into words on the screen. Yeah, exactly. If you're not happy, you should do what your heart really wants. That is indeed a smart thing to say. Uneasy. I feel like somewhere along the line we didn't make a good decision for Kiyoko. People pass by one as I stand in the middle of the city square. alone. Time continues to pass, almost comedically as I continue to stare back and forth between the crowd and my phone. Meet me in the city at 6. It's important. With a few minutes to go, I can't hold it against her for not being early. But this isn't like her. Then again, to know what she's really like, it's not like I can answer that question right now. As the sun begins to set, the warm glow of the sky gives off a romantic vibe. That in itself is almost funny. As the time we spend together continues to degrade, knowing what those feelings are really have been a challenge, but right now, I know what I have to say. All this time, being in the club, it really has been fun. I really hold those days close to my heart. But having to understand what my heart really wants, that's been hard. Sometimes we have to adjust our personalities to appeal to those we want to be liked by. Is that really what we've been doing? I can't tell anymore. Taking a look back at my phone, surprised to see that 5 minutes have already passed. Standing here alone for so long. It must look pretty weird. The sky continues to shift towards a romantic shade of orange. The leaves of the trees ahead of me, rustling in the early summer breeze. With the crowd beginning to thin, a distinct figure appears from within.
Sorry about being late.
Ah, Kiyoko Ishikawa, a classmate of mine. She's talked about a lot around the school, being known for her intelligence, enough so to top the leaderboards for every test, not just in the school but even regionally. Don't worry about it. She came. Despite all the studying, she still came. Sporting a casual attire, a pink shirt covering her athletic body as her charcoal dress flutters in the breeze. She really does look cute. Holding an embarrassed expression as she looks towards the floor, he could even be called adorable.
You wanted to tell me something, right? You said it was important.
That's what I'd like to say to her. Yeah, I did. But I can't. Something inside me can't. With that sad look coating her face, it's clear she's picked up on the serious atmosphere I've created. Highlighted further that, besides our morning run-ins, this is the first time we've really spoken in a while. How's the studying going? Making small conversation, it feels like an attempt to push what I really need to say as far away as possible, like things are still as they were before.
It's been hard. Lately, I've been struggling a lot. It's starting to hurt.
Seeing her woeful face, I can only feel those same painful feelings in my heart. Why don't you take a break?
I can't do that.
Why not? Oh gosh. Yeah, that is definitely not the approach that you wanted to do there, mate. Raising my voice, Kiyoko steps backwards in fright, before sinking back into a solemn look. It hurts to see. Do you really have to push yourself this hard? I want to be your friend again. You're smart, you're athletic, you're beautiful. If you wanted to go out with someone else, they wouldn't be hard to find at all. Why me? All this time. I've wanted to make you happy. I wanted to be there for you. But that's been hard. As tears start to roll down my cheeks, all I can feel is pain inside as my chest continues to get tighter, squeezing down on my essence as the words flow out one by one. So tell me, do you really have to push yourself this hard? Startled by my words, Kiyoko looks back almost confused as a hint of rose remains placed on her cheeks.
Of course, I have to. I've been doing that all along.
Looking back towards me with damp cheeks, Kiyoko raises her gaze from the ground.
I've been doing that for you. Ever since you joined the club, I've been trying my hardest to come out of my shell. It's not easy trusting someone after all that happened with Naomi, but you changed that. I want to make you proud.
With the space around us devoid of the crowds of before, Kyoko's words ring out solely to me. A special world shared by the two of us under the blissful summer skies.
That's all I've really wanted.
Stepping forward, Kiyoko continues to hold a rosy expression.
People see us how they want to see us. It's as simple as that. Their definitions and on their terms. Is living life like that really fun?
Leaving the question open, I wonder why the boxers have just come back to have done that. It's like we're going into a movie and the top and bottom bars have come into place. I ponder answering before she continues regardless.
I'm not always the energetic, happy girl that you've come to know. You can tell that, right? Things like emotions, feelings, they're difficult. Why do you think I put on a facade? It's hard to be happy all the time.
Happiness is around every corner. Regardless of what corner of life that you walk through, there's always going to be a point where it's going to be happy, where it's going to be rough. But the most important thing to do is always persevere, always adapt to survive, always adapt to ensure that tomorrow is just a little better. Having those feelings, it really adds weight to my own. I was wrong to ever doubt her. As a breeze rustles the trees around us, a shimmer of light hits a tear on Kiyoko's cheek as she starts to cry yet again. The pain from before having deepened further into my heart. The pain of being in love.
I know I haven't been able to spend much time with you. That's been hurting me too. Just seeing you today really makes me happy. I miss you so much.
I'm no masochist, but sometimes that pain is enjoyable. It wouldn't be love without it, yeah. But you both love one another. Then any time apart is painful. Because you don't know their safety. You don't know what's around them. You can't protect them if they're in danger. This entire time, Kiyoko too had these feelings. This entire time, she's been doing her best just for me. Giving up on someone like that would be wrong. Especially not someone I love. I've missed you too, Kiyoko. I love you. Hearing these words, her eyes widen shock before her face quickly flashes crimson once again. The sight of a nervous girl trying to hold back her own embarrassment as she wipes away the tears from her eyes. No matter what, I want to support her through thick and thin. I want to be here for her.
I love you too.
Aw.
I've always loved you.
What? I don't think that's true. You don't just love somebody on first sight. After all this time, it's those words I've been waiting to hear, wanting to hear. I love you. Having come this far, the bond between us can only grow stronger from here. I want her to do well, not for my sake, but for herself. Kiyoko Ishikawa, my girlfriend. She's talked about a lot around the school, being known for her intelligence. Yet there's one thing that stands out the most. Her heart. Kiyoko, there's something I've been wanting to give you for a while.
Is it a present?
No.
Huh?
It's a different kind of chemically bond. People see us how they want to see us. It's as simple as that. Their definitions and on their terms. Whatever we're seen as, I really couldn't care. Right now, right here, all I care about is her. As her warmth presses against mine, the sensation of her lips tickles, her feelings matched to mine. The tears of before are now gone as I, ruffling aside her hair. Things couldn't be any better. The two of us, together, that's what I really wanted. From meeting her by chance, to helping her overcome the barrier between her bonds, to this. A kiss under the evening sun. really is definitely a 180. You could say that Kiyoko's life was saved by our MC. And hypothetically, if we were in the route where we'd always prioritize Naomi, that would also be the case as well, but for Naomi. It's unreal to think we've gotten so close so quickly, but I love it. Taking a moment to break apart, Kiyoko's breathes down my neck, still remaining ever so close. Together, the scientist and her assistant. We'll take on what the world has to throw at us.
I guess that concludes today's club activities, right?
Enough chemically bonding.
Thanks for the present.
It's a lovely present, don't you think? What a sight.
I love you.
Ah. Is that it? Oh, that's the end of the game. But there's still Naomi we would have to pursue though, because obviously there's two main characters to this tale. That's the first CG we ever encountered with Kiyoko, but one of surprise. Oh, then there's that one we accidentally stumbled upon as well. What the heck? Now, honestly, I love the emotional roller coasters that have happened throughout the game. You need a game with emotions involved with the characters to be able to fluff out the story of these characters. If you don't have emotions, then you don't have a story. Every story of some kind needs emotions. Like making music, for example. You can't play or you can't perform music without emotion. I think especially when it comes to like musical instruments which uses your mouth, like the harmonica, like whatever emotions you feel, they're resonated throughout the sounds that are made throughout that music. So like the game, you have these characters which are always rebounding towards one another. Like this character thinks of this thing, this character thinks of that thing, but in this case you've got a conflicting past friendship that was shattered obviously by in dedication to I wonder if this is based off a real life event between a few friends. I'm sure there have been scenarios in schools where that has been the case. Or Epilogue. Scientific arts. Heading down the corridor, while typically a menial task, is strikingly different today. Of course I knew this would happen, but seeing it in person really does blow me away. Around what would usually be considered a boring old notice board, a crowd of students fight to catch a glimpse of a small piece of paper pinned up against the cork. As I approach, murmurs began to spread as surprisingly. The crowd thins. That's right. I'm her boyfriend. And you can't take that away from me? With a few people deciding to stay, I peer over a classmate's shoulder just to take a look at the results myself. National exam with proficiency for 95th percentile students. Let's just skip to the results. 5th place, not her. 4th place is Shizuki Hishikawa. 3rd place? 3rd place? Thinking about it, 3rd in the entire country doesn't seem all that bad. And you can say that. You're on the podium. But psychologically, what do you think is worst? 3rd or 2nd? 2nd means you were just shy of 1st, but 3rd means you made it onto the podium. But 1st is obviously the pinnacle of achievements.
3rd place?
That's brilliant. You too?
What?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to check my friend's score, aren't I?
It's just the results themselves.
Where's Kiyoko anyway? We have to congratulate her.
Exactly, Naomi. Best idea so far that you've ever thought of in this entire game so far. She's with the principal. Although being in 3rd, such a feat has still put this school on the map yet again. I'm happy for her.
Shall we wait outside? People are giving us weird looks.
I think that's the best. I think it's because a wonderful figure like you is hanging around a slump like me. It's like a princess hanging out with a sloth or something like that. Heading outside, the two of us stand in the sweltering summer heat.
How are things going with Kiyoko?
You mean our relationship?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, good. Really good. Having put in all that effort, it's this day we've both been looking forward to the most. The day where Kiyoko's stresses are thrown out the window, and now we are beginning to ascend.
If that's the case, I'll leave you two lovebirds to it.
No, we really appreciate you being around, Naomi. What happened to? We have to congratulate her.
I'll do that in my own time. I'm sure she won't mind.
Naomi. Heading off of a characteristic wave, Naomi leaves amongst the crowd of students heading home for the summer break. With a whole lot of fun now ahead of us, my heart anxiously beats to see Kiyoko.
I'm here. Where's Naomi?
She said she'd congratulate you in her own time.
Is that so? Don't you have something you should be saying too?
Thank you, Kiyoko. Congratulations? Times like these I wouldn't replace for the world.
You could have put a bit of effort in.
Yeah, put some more enthusiasm behind it, MC. Put your emotions with the words themselves, rather than just the words.
But still, thank you.
I guess we truly are chemically bonded. Oh, great. That's where the title of the game is coming to play, in the Epilogue. Great. Nah.
Stay with me forever.
Aw. The end. Thanks for playing. And that's gonna wrap it up for the moment, folks. I will come back to this game. I assure you, we're going to be pursuing Naomi's route in the next time around. But for the moment, I'm going to be concentrating on some other games for the time being. So, give me about a week, and I'll be back on this game. But don't you worry, we'll be back on this, providing that my flu does not strike too hard. Because at times I've been contemplated about, like, not doing a game recording because feeling too tired or feeling too lightheaded or too pained out from the stomachs. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. What we've unlocked so far, let's see. So there's one CG in... Maybe they're not... Yeah, I don't think they're in order. So, like, it doesn't appear in the order in which you... Maybe they are. But that'd probably be something with Naomi's route. Then another one of these would be Naomi's route. But then there's also the update where if you manage to get both good endings of the game, then it unlocks another person within the game itself. So that's a thing. That's a thing in most definitely. How do we go back? Oh yeah, return. So thank you all so much for watching, guys. This is Chemically Bonded so far, and we will see each others in the next time. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.